Okay, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You've read the title, you're probably intrigued by the idea of achieving results 9 times faster. And there's a reason that I say 9 times faster. You're probably intrigued by the idea of replacing your PT. I will deliver on these promises throughout the video. I'm going to teach you what it took me, a lot of research, a lot of working with clients, a lot of testing on myself to achieve. Now, you're probably thinking, why believe me? It doesn't matter. It depends how much you've seen of me to know. I'll tell you the things I've achieved by applying these principles. So number one was when I was, I think, 18 years old, I built 30 pounds of muscle in my first 9 months of lifting. Now, I've got a video explaining how I did this. I'm not saying that you're going to build 30 pounds of muscle. I'm saying that I beat the industry best of what you're supposed to achieve because I followed these principles. And the whole point of these principles is to learn faster, apply faster, achieve faster. So I will explain how that works. I applied this next to jiu-jitsu. I got my purple belt in 4 years, and with the handstand push-up I achieved that in like 6 sessions, I believe, and with less than I think 30 runs over the course of 4 months I was able to get up to a marathon. So there are a few other things I've applied it to, but I think for the goal of replacing a PT, that should be intriguing for most people. So what do PTs do, and why is this going to replace the need for them? This is going to save you thousands of pounds or dollars depending on where you are, because right now if you apply it, so please take notes, take this seriously. If you're unsure about all this stuff I've just said, I documented it on my Instagram and stuff, so you can go and have a look. But it'll save you money with a personal trainer, because the whole point of a personal trainer is to fast track your ability to do the skill of the gym and to lose fat and build muscle and things like that. And we can achieve these things better without them, because first off, they're not very good. Most of the time they're not well educated, most of the time, and it takes a lot of experience and their own research to actually do that. So you can't just hire a PT and know that you're going to get results, because not all of them hire enough agency to actually develop the skills to know what they're doing. So let's say they do though. You have someone teach you how to do a push-up. They tell you don't let your bum come up too high. They tell you don't let the elbows flare out, and you fix those things, but you don't really understand the mechanisms of it. The cool thing is that they're going to fix it concurrently. They're going to tell you, hey, you're doing this, you need to change it. And unlike most sports where you can't teach beginners concurrently, the gym, it's not so hard to do that because the skills are quite basic. However, the problem with this is that you don't understand the mechanisms and you don't see it. So the kinesthetic field that you're supposed to develop, you can't visualize it, and the visualization is extremely important, as we'll touch on later in the video, with examples of how people have been able to achieve gold medals, among other things, with the power of visualization. It's massively important to achieving any skill. Now remember that I said that this helps with jiu-jitsu, handstands, building muscle. It helps with everything. These are the principles I applied. You can take these and you can apply them today. So why doesn't it work when they teach you concurrently like this? Number one, you're actually not self-motivated. Then you're actually kind of paying them to motivate you, and that's a different topic. But the other side of it is that because you don't know what it looks like, when you eventually go out on your own, because you're probably not going to pay $80 an hour for the rest of your life to a personal trainer to not teach you how to learn skills and apply skills and develop skills. They're just standing there pointing, telling you what to do. When you eventually lose out on them, you just have a few cues. You don't understand the mechanisms of what you're doing. So you don't understand that the flaring of the elbows is over utilizing your anterior delt. You don't understand that the whole point of push-ups is to, maybe you understand the point of the muscles it's trying to work, but you don't understand the inhibitors of what you're doing wrong. So what do you need to know? You need to know the mechanisms, and you need to know what it looks like and fix it quickly. So the first big principle you need to understand is closing feedback loops. So the reason I said 9 times faster is because if you train 3 times a week and let's say you do 3 sets of an exercise, if you make an adjustment within a single session, you, rather than waiting months, because I'm sure you've waited months before making a change. How many pounds have you gained in fat before you've said, oh, I better change this? How many months of not progressing have you made? How many months of skipping the gym have you done? So would you go to the gym if you knew you were making progression every single session? What about mid-session? So I showed an example in a TikTok video that I did it recently. So in the video, at the moment I'm injured, so that's the main reason I'm struggling with muscle ups, but I've got a shoulder injury, and the video showed me that there's something that I'm doing incorrectly. And so I look at the video, I make the progression, and by the end of the session, I'm doing weighted muscle ups. So this is the important point about this, that you can, rather than waiting months, which is what most of you do if you are going to the gym, because the reality is that smart people don't go to the gym when they're not seeing results. If you're lucky enough to be quite dumb, keep going to the gym and be stubborn about it, then maybe you'll see some form of accidental progression. But the reality is that when you're not seeing results, you stop doing the thing that's wasting all your time. So if you knew that you were going to get a progression, you would probably do it. So the first thing that you need is closing the feedback loop. But what if you don't know what to do? So I should say the first thing you need is the resources. So when I learned a handstand push-up, what I did was all my research to learn how to do a handstand push-up, what I needed to know, the mechanics of it. And then once I had that, I would video myself. And I promise you, when I was doing it, I thought I was doing it really well, but I wasn't. I took the video, I identified from the resources what adjustments I need to make. I made the adjustments mid-session. By the end of the session, I am a step closer to doing it correctly. This is how we achieve the results that we want. We take the correct resources and then we apply the principle of closing the feedback loop. Now, at the start of the video, you heard me talking about this idea that visualization is going to elicit skill progression. So I will take the example in jiu-jitsu. I read a book when I was 18, and I'll say read a book, watched a YouTube video. I didn't watch it, I didn't read the whole book. I'm an Audible guy. So from what I remember, the principles I took from it are an Olympian was injured, and so he had to visualize archery, and he comes back and he wins, basically. And the principle is that where the mind goes, the body will too. And I always like to explain this, that when you're half asleep and you're and you might visualize kicking a ball, and you're in that mid state and you kick, and then your leg moves and it wakes you up. It's an example of how your mind and your body are connected through visualization. You can develop and improve skills through visualization. I did this with jiu-jitsu. I didn't have more than 3 days a week to train. And whenever I'd learn something, I would visualize it after, and I would visualize it before, and I would visualize during, and I would ask for feedback mid-session, so after each roll. So after, if you don't do it, it's after each sparring, 5 minutes of sparring. And that allowed me to apply what I'd learned and adjust. You can't just hard work your way through it, because if you get too fatigued, you're not going to be able to achieve these things anyway. Now that's true in jiu-jitsu, but it's even more true in skill exercises like handstand push-ups or strength and muscle growth. So number one, first component that you need is the resources. Now I've got 3 resources. You can follow my stuff if you want. Go to the school group. Second, you need to close the feedback loop. This means videoing yourself. You need to identify from the resources what you need to change and change it immediately. And you can't just stop doing this. You will bastardize your technique over and over and over again if you do not video. I've gone for a period of time of not videoing, thinking that my chin-ups were perfect. Around that time that I was on 40 kilograms of weighted chin-ups, and then I look at it, I'm like, I've got to regress because I built on shaky foundation. So don't let that be you. Fix the problem quickly, and you can achieve results faster. I am not special. I'm not genetically gifted whatsoever, and I've helped my clients do this the same. I've got clients who have lost £10 a month for 6 months straight, 7 months straight. I've got clients who have achieved pistol squats and muscle ups, and when they started overweight, clients who have undone high cholesterol and type 2 diabetes. Resources, track and feedback loop, visualization when you are recovering. That is the system. I hope you can take it today. I hope you can take action on it. Feel free to join the group and ask more questions. I hope this helps, and to anyone who did interact, if you have any questions with like other videos and wanted this free training, then feel free to comment below any of your questions.